You know, they say you can learn a lot about a person from the big questions in life, but sometimes the deepest truths are revealed by the simplest ones. For instance, what is your opinion on pizza? Okay, let's dive into this story of a man whose answer to that very question shook a pirate ship to its core.
And there it is, the statement that kicks this whole thing off. Just a few little words, no reason to, that were about to ignite a philosophical firestorm. This wasn't just an opinion. On the deck of a spectral pirate ship, this was heresy.
All right, let's really set the stage for this ideological showdown. Because we're not just talking about a meal. We're about to witness a crime, a betrayal so deep it calls, well, everything into question.
So, picture this, right? You've got Justin Boy sitting on this creaky, warped deck, and he's just content. He's chewing on a slice of pizza where the grease is basically turned into a waxy shell. This isn't an accident. This is a choice. And his crewmates? They're absolutely horrified. And the reaction from the crew? It was immediate. It was visceral. See, this wasn't just about a bad food take. This felt like a personal attack on their whole way of life. The protests started rolling in hard and fast. First up, you've got Delivery Catboy. And right away, you see the crew's whole philosophy. Game night pizza isn't just food, you know? It's a ritual. It's sacred. To even suggest otherwise is like defiling the whole point of getting together to play a game. Then Batman Boy jumps in, and he immediately takes it to a whole new level. He frames it as a question of existence itself. Like, if you're eating bad pizza, you're not just having a bad meal, you're failing at life. You're not living.
And finally, the Captain Honeyboy. He lays down the law. This isn't a simple disagreement anymore. Nope. This is treason. A betrayal of everything they stand for, their shared struggles, and who they are as a crew.
Okay, so this is really the core of it, right? On one side, you have the crew. For them, pizza is an experience. It's all about joy and living well. And then you have Justin. For him, pizza is just fuel. It's an object of pure utility. This was never an argument about pineapple or deep dish. This is a fundamental clash of worldviews, living life to the fullest versus cold, hard pragmatism.
And you gotta love this part. In the middle of all this horror and outrage, there's Icy Boy, just losing it. He's doubled over laughing. His reaction is just perfect because it highlights how absurd this whole thing is. He's calling Justin a menace and a monster, not because he's actually evil, but because his logic is so cold and so alien that it's just hilarious.
Okay, let's turn the spotlight onto the heretic himself. How does Justin Boy even begin to defend this unforgivable act? Well, not with any passion or anger. No. He does it with an infuriatingly calm, simple logic.
So, here's defense number one. It just completely steamrolls every emotional point the crew has made. To him, all this talk about joy, experience, sacred ritual, it's all irrelevant. Food has one job: provide energy. That's it. End of story. And if you thought that was maddening for the crew, get a load of his second defense. He says it's cheaper. Now let's remember, these guys are basically demigods swimming in pirate loot. Money is not an issue. But for Justin, the principle of being practical is worth more than any treasure.
And this, right here, this is the heart of it. This isn't about him having bad taste. His choice to eat terrible pizza is a deliberate act of rebellion. The crew wants to enjoy the luxuries they fought for, but Justin just refuses. He rejects the very idea that they even need rewards like that. So now, the tension on the ship is just, you could cut it with a knife. The crew decides they have to make one last desperate stand for the very soul of their game night. And the captain, he puts it all on the line. He connects their entire heroic identity, fighting monsters, conquering seas of blood, to the simple act of eating good pizza. He's saying it's their reward, their right, a symbol of who they are. It's a powerful, commanding ultimatum.
In Justin's response to that epic speech, 2 words: no reason. That's it. He doesn't argue, he doesn't defend himself, he just repeats the core of his heresy and completely dismantles the captain's entire argument with that devastating simplicity.
And the effect is absolute. The whole ship just goes silent. Even Icy Boy's laughter finally dies out, and it's replaced by tears because he realizes Justin is completely, unshakably serious. Justin won. His conviction is absolute, and the crew, they have nothing left to say.
So why? Why did we just spend all this time dissecting a silly argument about pizza? Well, because As is so often the case, the small arguments are never really about the small things, are they?
What we've just seen is a perfect example of what we can call the pizza heresy. Think of it as a framework for understanding those conflicts where the topic on the surface, pizza, or a movie, or how to load the dishwasher, is really just a stand-in for a much deeper clash of values.
And this really pulls it all together. I mean, Justin's character has always been about minimal gear and maximum willpower, right? His pizza choice is just that, but for food. The crew feels like their shared struggles have earned them a reward. But for Justin, the struggle is the reward. And that's how a tiny preference for bad pizza can reveal this huge ideological divide.
When it comes down to it, this whole story is a great reminder that our most heated debates with friends, with family, they're rarely about what we think they're about. They're about our fundamental beliefs on what makes life meaningful, what makes it worth living.
So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. What's your bad pizza? What's that one seemingly trivial hill that you are willing to die on, not because of the thing itself, but because of the deep core principle it represents about who you are?